Hello and welcome to TA for Traders. It's Monday the 18th of September and I'm Nigel Croft. In this video we'll be looking at 2 UK stocks and 2 US stocks. We'll start in the UK with Hiscox, the insurance company and broker. They've come out with a bearish trading statement today with losses coming through on the American hurricanes and the hurricane that went through the West Indies. It's created a hammer on the daily and the weekly chart. That looks bad. We'll also look at Entertainment 1. That's also off today, but actually the technicals look good there. We'll then move across the pond and look at Nvidia. There's been a broker upgrade, taking their target from 180 to 250. The shares jumped immediately up to 180. Further upside should be expected. And finally, we'll look at AMD, Applied Micro Devices. And we'll see there that it's come back to a critical support and really the technical picture could be deteriorating. So starting with Hiscox, which is the code HSX, and you can see on the daily we've got this hammer formation. This is a bearish technical indicator, and I mean obviously we're not even at midday yet today, but it just looks bad. It would take a big recovery for it not to create this hammer, and so further downside should be expected. We've also on the bearish tack had a bearish cross as the 20s crossed the 50-day moving average, and we've also found resistance at the 20-day, and that's pushed the stock lower. You can see there's negative momentum. The RSI is in a downtrend, presently at 34.05, and well, actually the MACD are flat lining. You can see they did recover with the bounce that we had on the stock last week, but they're moving back down, and we do expect the short term to go back below the long term. On the weekly, again, we've got this hammer formation, and obviously we are Monday, so the chart on the daily will be the same as the weekly, so we've still got the same hammer. Obviously, a lot longer time frame for it to recover, through the week. So we'll wait to see that. But at the moment, it is a hammer, and it might close tonight as a hammer if the daily does, which we expect. Here we found resistance at the 20-week, even though that was moving up. Last week we did go above it momentarily, but couldn't hold above it. That was another bearish sign. We've moved back below it. That will roll over, but that'll take a few weeks. Momentum is negative. You can see that RSI has gone back below 50 at 47.95 and is in a downtrend, and the MACD are negative as well. On the short term, surprise, surprise, another hammer back below the moving averages. Here the 20 and 50 created a bearish cross all the way back on the 15th of August. The 50 created the resistance last week, which halted the advance, and we're back below the 20. Expect these supports down at 12.07 and 12.10 to be tested in the short term. MACD rolling down, just actually shouting out a sell signal as the short goes below the longer term, and the RSI now down at 32. Moving on to Entertainment 1. Here we've got a better technical picture. You can see that we were in a downtrend. We had this pattern of higher lows. That was broken quite decisively on the 8th of September, and we pushed a new high. Today there's a consolidation. This is what I see as a buying opportunity. We're pulling back into support. The moving averages are all moving up. we had bullish crosses, golden crosses on the 20 crossing the 50, 20 crossing 200 and 50 crossing 200, which are all positive, and that should give the impetus for further upside. MACD are positive, short term above long term, well above zero, and RSI. We have pulled back, but it was from a very high level and there was no non-confirmation, so this consolidation isn't a non-confirmation. It can drift, but we do expect it to keep showing positive momentum, presently at 60.87 on the weekly, and this picture really does look good to me. We've broken the downtrend, as I said, on the daily. The moving averages here also are all moving up, and really one would expect to push up to the next resistance level, which is seen above 280. Really the main resistance is at 285 up to 295 on the 4 hour. And here you can see that we found support last week from the rising 24-hour average. We're pulling back to that today, so that is another support level. Again, the RSI did reach a high and it's consolidated, but still above 50. MACD back together, but as I said, if the support holds, expect a further push upwards. Okay, moving across to the American stocks we're looking at. Nvidia, NVDA, very positive move on Friday, as we had found support from the moving average and it's now broken upwards. RSI is broken up, creating an uptrend, and the MACD is shouting buy. This stock, given the break, further upside should be expected. Looking at the longer term, looking at the weekly, obviously we've come from a long way down, but the break to the upside is after a flag, and really one would expect 2 or 3 weeks of further upside progress. RSI not moving to new highs. Give it time. Some would say it's a non-confirmation. Lots of arguments whether a non-confirmation on a weekly is a key indicator. I take the view it isn't, in that it's a lagger, and you can't take a time. A non-confirmation is a short-term timing target timing factor that should be taken into account when you're thinking about moving. In this respect, moving out of a stock. It's not a great indicator for when to sell on when the other charts look positive, and I would just ignore it at the moment. It's still ticking along the RSI 71.24. MACD are flatlining, but give it another week of upside and they will start to diverge to the upside as well. Looking at the shorter term, the 4 hour, again we've had the break. We had a golden cross as the 20 crossed the 50, found support at the 20 that was rising, bounce up from there, trampoline effect, expect further upside. RSI in a solid uptrend, presently at 71.97. As we've seen previously on this stock, this could go above 80 before it gets overbought, and the MACD are also positive as the short term moves above the longer term. Okay, the final stock we're covering today is Advanced Micro Devices, which is the code AMD. You can see it's pulled back to what I would say is a critical support of the rising 200-day moving average. There's also a slight concern that we've got a head and shoulder formation. We've also got the resistance of the 20-day pushing down. Momentum has left the mark, has left this stock. RSI presently at 48.17 and MACD are flat lining. If we fall below the 200 day, expect further downside. Key support is 12. Below 12, expect a fall to 11 and below. Looking at the weekly, and here we've got A critical level is the downtrend in 20 week moving average, 12.41. We are slightly above that at the moment, but if we go below it and close below it, that could give a push down, and that would see the supports tested. Here the momentum is just flat. The RSI is at 50.9. If we go below that 20 week, that will push below 50 and you will see increased downside momentum. And in fact, the MACD are already saying that there is downside momentum, so watch this stock and be aware of those supports. On the 4 hour, again, we're at a critical level. The 20 is about to cross the 50, moving down in a bearish cross. That could be and also the 200 is there, and that's moving down as well. So be aware of all that. When you get the moving averages together like they are here, once you get a move, it could be a significant move. I've got real concerns about AMD at the moment. Okay, so that's been TA for traders, very quickly running through 4 charts. Hiscox, the insurance company in the UK, we don't like the look of that one. Entertainment one looks good, and then in the States, Nvidia looks really good, and AMD, we've got major concerns. Many thanks for watching the video. If you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, do click that subscribe button. All my subscribers, it's much appreciated that people are subscribing. I'm getting new subscribers every day, which is great. Let's build up that base for TA for traders. When you subscribe, you then get email updates every time I come out with new videos. I don't just cover single stocks. I'm also covering foreign currency, commodities, and equity indices. All these videos are for information only. They're not meant as an investment recommendation, and do please read the disclaimer at the end of each video. Thank you.